Regular Planning Commission meeting, Wednesday, October 25th, 2017. Can we get a call to order?
Chair Andre,
Here.
Vice Chair DeVolt,
Here.
Commissioner Quilty. Here. Commissioner Grove.
Here.
Commissioner Lowe.
Here.
Commissioner Riley.
Here.
And Commissioner Silverhand.
Here.
Everybody can stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh. Get out of the way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Oral communications. So at this time, any individual in the audience may address the Planning Commission and speak on any item within the subject matter that is not on the agenda. Seeing nobody come forward, we'll move to the approval of the minutes. And this will be the approval of minutes for the regular meeting for September 27, 2017. Any comments or questions
Correction real quick.
or corrections?
On page 4, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth paragraph down. In the second sentence, I said it is not an easement. As it is zoned, I said as it is owned. It's owned by the Orange County. It's actually the flood control district, not the fire district.
Oh, as it is owned.
That's it.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve with corrections.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Wait,
Aye.
you had that
Aye.
correction. You wanted to make that one correction, and then it has to be on the record.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Am I saying with the corrections, we have to acknowledge these corrections too?
To acknowledge those
Oh,
corrections.
this
that
from the
have been-
previous one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they need to be acknowledged. Okay, can we go ahead and just approve this first and then we'll go back to
No,
this?
no, it's
or-
the same minutes.
Oh, it's the same one.
minutes.
Oh, okay. So we have to make the motion to approve with Art's corrections and the corrections made that we were given.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it with the additional corrections.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Stay. Okay. Okay, so we have item 6, discussion due to the holidays. Recommended that the commission discuss their availability and feasibility of altering the dates for the November and December planning commission meetings.
Yep, as the commission is aware, the next commission meeting will land on the 22nd of November, the day before Thanksgiving. So oftentimes you would move it, change it, rotate it, have it earlier, have it later, or cancel it altogether. But we wanted to talk about it because subsequently there's some issues that will probably have to be continued to a date specific, so I think we should get those dates out of the way right now. It would be helpful to talk about November and December at this time.
Okay.
Any day works for me.
I'm out of
December's the 27th? It's the fourth Wednesday.
It's the fourth one, yes. So December would be the 27th, which is after the holidays. But I know many of you are, Take the whole week
I'm
out.
probably gone during that
and
time.
probably don't want an agenda on Christmas Eve.
Not so much.
No.
Well, let's start with November.
Okay,
Are we good with the day before? Is
I'm out of town.
out of town.
Yeah, I'll be out of town.
So it sounds like we're not good for.
and council would be on the
Thanksgiving.
20th, so the 20th would not be available. The room would not be available on the 20th, which is Monday. The Wednesday before would be the 15th.
I can't do the 15th.
We can do it at Griffin Grill, something like that in the back.
And then, what about the 29th of November then?
29th, anybody?
I'm fine.
I'm
That's
good.
fine.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, so 29th of November.
Yeah, I can do that.
Consensus is there?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to December. Wednesday, the 27th would be the normal planning commission meeting. City council will probably be on the 18th. The 20th
No, the 20th.
Was not.
could be feasible, but that's real close. You
It's
guys
getting
are in
close.
another
It's a-
mindset
the-
during that time period.
It's
How
got-
about we just go into January?
Is it possible, I mean,
What day is our Christmas party? I forgot.
Fifth.
The 5th?
Thank you, Art.
yeah, I think it's the 5th.
Is there any reason we need a meeting in December, you know? Or
We don't know at this time. We've got some pending applications, but those will probably be on the November one.
Yeah, I mean, if we're meeting, we said November 29th. So that's the very,
just skip.
that's the very last week. I mean, with the holidays, I think it's gonna be tough.
You can certainly vote to skip.
I would
I'll
vote
vote
to
to
skip
skip.
because it gets so hectic.
I think I'm good with that.
Good?
I think
Is there
Yeah.
consensus?
staff
Yeah.
uses
Yeah.
Fine.
monthly.
Okay. Michelle, you got that? Okay.
I guess well, I guess I might preface that by saying the only issue with that is if we have the meeting in November and it's determined that something needs to be carried over into
It
December.
doesn't mean you couldn't have an early January meeting.
Right, right.
You know, it doesn't mean that in November you can continue it to a date specific and talk about that topic at that point.
So we could possibly go into January 5th, or let's see, wait, what would that be?
The 4th,
The 4th.
or, I'm sorry, the 3rd.
No,
Yeah.
the third, the
Wait and
3rd.
see.
So
Which
is
would
that-
only,
Yeah,
yeah,
wait and see.
That's a wait, right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then.
okay.
So we said the 20, I'm sorry, I didn't write, 29th.
Else was there?
Yes, Counselor Dole.
Okay, consent calendar, there's nothing on the consent calendar, so we can move to staff reports. Item 8, community development block grant, discussion regarding future land use. Do we have an update on that?
Yes, this item is about the community development block grant. We put it in the paper every year for people to come in and, if they would like to, and make suggestions about what to spend that money on. We need to do that every year for the community development block grant, for the county who audits us, and that's one of the audit checkoff points. So, you know, you guys can discuss it, or if someone came from the public that wants to discuss a particular thing they would like to see those funds spent on, that would be great at this time. So,
Okay,
it's open to the public.
so we can go ahead and open this to the public. Is there anybody here that wanted to speak on this item? Nobody, okay, seeing nobody, we can bring it back to the commissioners and have a discussion on this?
Yeah, and there's two items in your packet, but those you don't have to pick those if you would like.
Right.
I mean, if you'd like to mention
Two
something else.
suggestions,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I'm okay to leaving it up to staff to determine where the money's needed more.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have two suggestions here. You guys have obviously done some research to determine that these two items are needed.
And eligible for these funds.
And
Yeah,
and
These
that
funds
too.
come with a lot of strings attached. We know what usually gets approved.
Mhm.
So we have Tom has a track record of over $1 million in these funds in the last 8 years. So we know what scores well with them, so we wouldn't throw anything at you that didn't score well with the people that review these applications.
Okay,
Because these are competitive. Each city competes for these funds. We're not entitled to a certain number of funds based on our population. We have to go and fight for them and apply. And
Okay.
so it's us, Stanton, Laguna Hills, and a few other
11
cities.
cities and any nonprofit organization that helps lower income
Out of
folks.
34 cities, 11 apply because they find it too complicated.
Right.
So we always put our hat in the ring.
Okay.
And we've been very successful. Only one of the 9 years have we been denied.
Right.
wow.
What about, we had talked a while back about the potential to
Sidewalk.
do sidewalk improvements up
That's
there.
going to be done this next year.
Oh, so that's already.
Yeah, that we won the award for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that should be done soon.
So this is a year ahead of the game. We probably.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I was just curious as to what.
Yeah, the
happened
Cerritos
back-
sidewalk going into the
Top.
bike trail.
Right.
And then also this year, in the next month, you'll notice that sidewalks are going to be fixed all around town. Any
Yeah.
sidewalk lifts and the remaining ADA ramps that need to be upgraded to, you know, where they have the truncated domes and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I was just curious, because I know we did those improvements along the river trail. It was
Right.
very nice. by the
Yeah,
way.
except for that sidewalk, yeah, that's.
Yeah, and that's terrible.
Scary.
And I know a lot of people, especially Tri-Zone does a lot of people, and they have a lot of bike riders
Right.
navigating that stretch right there, and then we have that, you know, the park right there.
Yeah, it's
So I think
actually a
it
huge
worked well.
project to do that, because you have to build up a retaining
Yeah, it's
wall
like
for it and everything.
collapsing
so,
there, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I'm okay with it as well.
Do we need a motion?
I don't think so. We don't actually need a motion
If
for this,
anyone
it's just more
else
of
has
a,
anything to say, say it, or we move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
anybody else? All right, moving on. So 8B is a resolution of intention number 17-13, off-street parking and loading issues. Get a staff report on that?
If you remember at the last meeting, you had asked to start talking about off-street parking regulations in the city of Los Alamitos. And there's three ways you can amend our code in our city. One is for an applicant to file an application. Two is for the planning commission to initiate it through a resolution of intention. The other is for the city council to initiate it through a resolution of intention. So we provided you a resolution of intention which then, in essence, assigns it to staff to start working with the commission on this off-street parking issue. We also have provided an alternative for you because we have hired a contractor to revise our entire zoning code, and parking will be a segment of their job, and two of the commissioners are on that committee as well. So you have two options: do it faster, or I guess do it the short way or do it the long way. Certainly your options. So if you pass the resolution of intention, that starts it up with staff to start looking at options for you for the code changes.
Okay. Any questions or comments, concerns? Motions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve it, because I think we should do it sooner than later.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, item 9 is a public hearing, and this is 9A, which is continued consideration of a 5-unit residential condominium development application for tentative tract map, conditional use permit, site plan review, and variance at 3751 Farquhar Avenue. Do we have a staff report on this?
Yes, sir. Tom will give most of the stuff, but I'll do an introduction. At our last meeting, the commission asked us to bring forward a resolution of denial for one portion of this application. And that's the variance request to be closer to an R1 zone than our code allows and taller. So we've provided that to you, and we're recommending that you approve that resolution of denial. So that checks off for the resolution of denial for the variance.
Right.
But then you still have pending applications for site plan review, CUP for condominiums, and the map. So those will still go on to a different date, a date certain, so now we have that date. Giving the applicant more time to file his application. He had reapplied, or I'm sorry, submitted new drawings to Tom just a couple of days ago, which was after our deadline for this. We haven't had a chance to revise them. He is in the audience if you have any questions of him, but this will close the door on one portion of that application, but you will see the remainder of that application in the future.
Okay. So I can go ahead at this point, or did you have more to add to that,
No,
Tom?
that covers it, yeah.
So I can go ahead and open the public hearing at this time. And if anybody would like to speak on the topic. Okay, okay. Go ahead and bring it back. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding this?
I'll move the recommended action.
We still have a motion?
Second?
Yeah, can I make a comment first?
Sure.
So since the last meeting, I've thought about this one quite a bit, and I think I'm still weighing on the fact that we're trying to protect something that I don't think the code intended to be protected, which is a drainage ditch. So I just wanted to mention that, because I think, I think if you go by the letter of the code, then right. that's one thing. But I think if you look at the intent, I don't think the code intended to offer that kind of protection to a drainage ditch. So I just want to go on the record saying that.
I second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed? Opposed.
Okay.
And was that to go to the 29th?
This, yes, we
The remainder of the
continue the
application
public.
continue to the
So
29th?
we continue, but yes.
Okay.
We leave the public hearing open as well, correct?
You do for those items, yes. Then we don't have to renotice.
Okay,
Saves us some money.
right. Okay. Let's see, item 9B is continued consideration of a 50-unit condominium development application for tentative tract map, conditional use permit, and site plan review at 3311 Sausalito Street. Do we have a staff report on this one?
As you know, the Olson Company has submitted an application for 50 condominium units where the old Cottonwood Church is. And last month, we opened the floor to kind of look at it. This month, we would have normally gone on to vote about it, but they've decided they would like to present some other plans. So those plans will be presented in the November meeting. So we would open the public hearing right now if you'd like to, and then if no one has any comments, we would suggest continuing it to next month.
Okay. That being said, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this topic? Please put your name on the paper there as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Andrade. John Reekston with the Olson Company. We just wanted to thank the Commission for all of your input. At the last meeting, we reviewed the tape a couple times and have spent substantial time looking at redesigning elements of the project. And we have started to resubmit plans to Mr. Oliver. Hopefully the extra week in November will give them some extra time also to analyze and come back to you with recommendations. We're excited because we think we've found a solution that provides a substantial number of additional open parking spaces, and also we focused on either removing or substantially modifying rooms that could otherwise reasonably be converted to bedrooms to bring the parking count in line so that we exceed code requirements. And you'll see all of that later in November, but we appreciate your comments. We've worked very hard to meet your comments and to address them, and we look forward to presenting that in late November. So I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else in the audience that wishes to speak on the topic? Okay. Go ahead and bring it back to the commission at this time. Looks to me like at this point we can go ahead and just continue the public hearing to remain open and carry this over to the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So, next item, item 10, items from the Development Services Director.
Nothing to report?
Nothing to report. And commissioner reports. Anybody with any information from the commissioners? All right, I guess that does it. Meeting adjourned.
No scores, no talking.